Давай смотреть. Вроде началось. Приветик. Если смотрите в записи, жмите на тайм-код в описании к видео, чтобы сразу попасть на игру. А я немножко поковыряюсь. Так, я, значит, захожу на другом экране на свою трансляцию. Она есть, я надеюсь? Она есть, отлично. Удалю тайм-коды из описания. Снежная, продолжение сюжетки, сохранить. Картинка пусть та же самая остается. На ютубчике открыть. Есть на ютубчике. 480p. Себя не надо слышать, все сообщения видны. Угу. Для ютуба вроде настроил. Так, ага. Раз, два, три. Ага. Раз, два, три. Вроде все норм. Теперь поменьше делаю окошечко. Это был YouTube. Теперь Twitch. Другое окно. За бокалами не видно второго монитора. Какая из них вот эта вроде? Twitch. Тут у нас все вроде правильно. Чатик я тоже вижу. Так, вылезла какая-то штука. Скрыть сообщение. В уголок экрана. Тут я трансляцию останавливаю. Поменьше делаю. Так, это тоже готово. И ТГ осталось. ТГ, чатик ТГ сверху. Да, точно. Запустить VPN. Забыл, что надо VPN запустить из-за того, что у меня вот это вот включено. А то иначе я бы на YouTube не зашел, сразу бы вспомнил, что надо VPN еще запускать. Все вроде на месте. Так, теперь сообщение сделать в ТГ-канале. Так. Что-нибудь напишем. Снежинки. Началось.
Охота на Ирину.
Охота на Ирину. Так. Не факт, что мы сегодня Ирину встретим. Я погуглил, она по сайт-квесту. Так. Продолжение сюжетки Снежной. Продолжение сюжетки Снежной. Угу. Ссылочки на месте. Вроде все.
Без картинки?
Без картинки. Забыл картинку изменить. Так, где картинка? На рабочем столе должна быть. Сейчас мы ее найдем. Как без картинки-то? Вот она. Угу. Теперь вроде все как надо. И в чатике появилось сообщение. Значит, он подхватывает все, что надо. Так, есть кнопка очистить. Ага, пусть пока пустой будет. А то там всякие технические сообщения были в чатике. Поехали Genshin запускать. Так. Английский язык. Скрипт мой. Genshin. Вчера вроде мы первый раз попробовали этот, как его звать, предел астральный. Как эта механика называется?
Да, астральный предел.
Побегали там, поиграли в какие-то рандомные игры от людей. Змейка из коробок сделаны. Так, это я, наверное, на соседний экран пока повешу. Сейчас посмотрим, чтобы мы... сделаю нас маленькими, чтобы мы не занимали место, чтобы было видно диалоги. Так, звук я выключал вроде у Genshin. Не та кнопка. Микшер громкости. Genshin у нас без звука. Ага. С кем бы начать диалог? С кем-нибудь из Монштата поговорю. С какой-нибудь рандомной тетей, которая в магазин входит. Так, а время, значит, вот столько. Пару часиков мы постримим. Ну-ка, Юрий, помоги нам настроить. Так, нет, у тебя маленький диалог, надо большой. Ну вот хотя бы такой. Сейчас я сделаю такой размер, чтобы мы не закрывали совсем мелкие. Ладно.
Может, еще здесь в ту сторону.
Да ну,
Ну,
не хочу.
что?
Не хочу.
Ну давай.
От тебя совсем тогда
Ну и
не
что?
будет. Ну уж как значит? Что значит? Ну и что? Нет, погоди. Сейчас. Для ютуба подвинул, теперь для твича двигаю. Давай вот так, и так уже достаточно мелкие. Да, пусть так будет, ладно. Часть диалога видно не будет, но большинство будет видно. Все пойдет, так оставим. Так, пусть куда-то сюда ведет тайм-код. Когда начнется игра, мы идем по заданию в Снежную. Она у нас где-то здесь. Игра не дает дальше отодвинуть карту. Так. Угу. Деревня в тундре. Я планирую, наверное, в ближайшие пару дней допроходить первую главу новой сюжетки и на этом пока закончить. Если останется время, пройдем тот самый квест с Ириной Николаевной. Ее и так звали?
Да. Воронина Ирина Николаевна.
Well, if it isn't Counselor Tartaglia, Mr. Big Shot himself.
Угу. Часть диалогов мы немножко закрываем, но я не знаю, куда нас деть, чтобы мы не закрывали диалог. Пусть, короче, так остается, пофиг. Как хорошо, что мне не надо читать.
Go easy on me, all right? I'm still recovering from the interrogation the real big shots put me through.
Да. Обленился.
Hey, comrade, it's been too long. I heard you came looking for me earlier. Nicest surprise I've had in a while.
Но скоро выйдет большое видео по Зато, а потом очень большое видео по Little Witch Академии. По игре.
Good to see you too, Odette. I'm guessing you guys just got back from Sviatlo Laidovka.
Он выше
How'd it
два
go?
раза.
Crisis averted?
Это же не самая высокая моделька. Ты потом встретишь Валерия, он
How about you?
еще
Any
выше.
new developments?
Или это просто был такой этот...
Not really. Same as ever. Growing opposition to Project Stuja, and the usual rebuttals are starting to ring hollow.
Я забыл кнопочку нажать, что он сам...
The results of the mock vote were pretty dire. Pulcinella was fuming. I've never seen the old man so angry.
Так, надо
That's
постараться
not
переходить
good
диалоги.
news. It takes a lot to rattle him.
Yeah, obviously if push comes to shove, there are ways to crack down on dissent. But...
Sorry, I have to ask something. This is going to sound blunt, but may I?
Huh? Of course, fire away.
It sounds to me like everyone's tearing their hair out trying to figure out how to deal with opposition to Project Stuja. But what exactly is this project's purpose? And how can it be so important that even people
Почему
like
так
you two
необычно
refuse
слышать,
to
что люди
stand up for the
говорят?
ordinary people of Снежная?
Interesting. I gotta hand it to you, comrade. You sure don't mince your words.
Excuse her? What does she mean? Refuse to stand up for ordinary people?
Oh my gosh. How does she dare speak to the Harbingers like that?
Are you interrogating us now?
It's okay, Sandrone. Let me explain. I think I understand where she's coming from. If I could, I'd take your side right now. In fact, my position's very similar to yours. I've only held back on casting a dissenting vote in the Vecha because the Tsaritsa would never let me get away with it. Still, I have a responsibility to the Fatui armed forces, so I do what I can to make their voices heard. Most of them are just regular folks from small towns far from the capital. I'm sure you've seen how much those kinds of places are struggling right now. Oh, and for what it's worth, I'm from Arepasak myself. Things aren't going so swell there either.
Море писать. Я даже не понял, что он название этого города произнес. Мы ждали, пока не скажет, да? Какой там был город предыдущий? Какой-то
The Tsaritsa
невыговариваемый.
wants to create a better, safer future for the people of Снежная, but she's thinking long term. I don't doubt that from where you're standing, Project
Это, кстати,
Stuja seems to be
только
creating
английская
all
озвучка,
sorts of
она, по
issues
сути,
for
не
everyone.
оригинальная.
But considering that Tsaritsa's vision for the future,
Оригинальная
Интересно,
китайская.
these are
Прекрасно,
sacrifices
да.
worth making.
Ну, по сути,
Sounds
он
cold,
тоже
I
можно
know.
называть.
But I promise it's not as black and white as it seems. Maybe Sandrone and I can't oppose Project Stuja outright, but we're constantly raising our concerns in Vecha meetings.
Тут еще
And
будет
even
тетя,
though we
которая
can't put an
поет
end
на
to it,
русском, да?
there are plenty of other ways to
Ну,
make a difference.
китаянка на русском.
We're
Ну, вот я
trying
не знаю, в
everything we
английской
can think
озвучке
of,
будет
and so is
так же
Pulcinella.
или-
I respect Her Majesty the Tsaritsa and trust her decisions.
Я
But at the
понял,
end
да,
of the
это был
day,
какой-то
I'm
ивент,
still just a
где
normal guy who cares deeply
я
about my
забыл
homeland
персонаж оперной
and my
певицы, как
family,
ее
Genshin.
who all
звать.
live
Да.
here. There's no
Она
way I
пела,
would ever
по-моему, там было
abandon
на
them.
китайском.
As contentious as things can get within the
Ну, она в
Vetcha,
целом
there's
из
no
Юлии.
selfishness or malice
Да.
behind it. Everyone wants to get through this period as smoothly
Ну,
as
посмотрим,
possible. The issue is that there's no way of pleasing everyone under the present circumstances. Most of the time, we're trying to decide on the lesser of two evils, which obviously isn't a great look. But that is not the same thing as being blindly loyal to the Tsaritsa. No one's got their head in the sand here. We're all well aware of the way things are. We're just
Оправдывается.
doing our best to make it work.
In fairness to Sandrone, she rushed to Svietlo Laidovka's aid the moment she heard that people were in danger. And even Tartaglia, who used to only care about the thrill of the fight, is clearly doing his best to rise to the demands of his new role as counselor.
Простите, если мой вопрос прозвучал немного грубо, но мне все-таки хотелось бы знать, что планирует царица.
Hey, come on. There's only so much we can say, so don't press us too hard. Look, I know how untenable the Tsaritsa's position looks if you don't understand her motives. Maybe you've heard already, but she's currently leading her army on a campaign to the east to defeat the monster that's been causing these brutal blizzards. Striking that monster down will be a significant step in dealing with the present energy crisis. As laser-focused as she is on realizing her lifelong ambitions, she's still putting time and energy into taking down this powerful monster. To me, that says a lot. If she thought Снежная and its people didn't matter in the grand scheme of things, why would she waste her time on something like this? Thanks. I meant every word I said, though. I wasn't just trying to placate you. I've already done more than enough diplomacy for one day.
I still
Как
think this
проверить звук,
adventurer
что они
raises a
говорят
very
сейчас?
important point.
Сейчас я не забыл,
Our
что
two
говорить.
harbingers have made their positions very clear. But there are
Interesting.
many others in the Vetcha who must feel trapped and forced to vote against their conscience. Others in the Vetcha who must feel trapped and forced to vote against their conscience.
Как будто совсем чуть-чуть, но лучше я, наверное, не сделаю. Ну и сейчас копаться я тоже не буду, уже поздно.
I think it's a very valuable quality to be willing to speak one's mind, despite the risk of offending powerful figures.
You can say that again. I highly doubt we'd feel the need to explain ourselves so much if we didn't know you so well.
Forgive me, adventurer, but might I be so bold as to ask about your background? How is it that you can converse so openly with two harbingers?
Да, напомните нам
Oh,
тоже.
haven't you been
Мгм.
properly introduced?
Это было много лет назад, когда Геншин начался.
Easier said than done. I like to think I'm not the kind of person who goes around busting open people's old wounds.
I've only learned her name so far, and no details of her experiences. Is something wrong?
Uh-oh. Is there no avoiding the subject of Rosaline?
No, it's just... All right. I guess there's no getting around it. This is the world-renowned traveler who helped resolve the storm terror threat in Mondstadt, cleaned up after the mess I made in Liyue, and then went to Inazuma, where there was a duel before the throne in which the traveler defeated
Ах, да,
Rosaline.
точно, мы убили Розалину, да?
Oh,
Сеньора.
Уф.
I'm sorry. I didn't think you two would be seeing much of each other, so I figured it wasn't worth bringing up.
it's fine. It was a long time ago. It's fine. Sorry, I just remembered that we have a rehearsal coming up. Please excuse me. I should get going.
Я думаю, все-таки не все в порядке. Что-то мне подсказывает.
I've mentioned this to you before, remember? She was Rosaline's most valued subordinate. but they didn't actually get along. Not that Rosaline was really the type of person to make friends, but death has a way of resolving a lot of conflicts.
Don't let it weigh on you. Like she said, it was a long time ago. It's in the past now. Odette has a very different personality from Rosaline. Give her some time. I'm sure she'll work through it. Oh, by the way, where's Paimon? It's not like her to hide away.
She hasn't been feeling well, so she's resting at Podvorier restaurant. I got a couple of my people to look after her while we were gone.
Oh, right. Sorry to hear that. Poor thing. Reminds me of when Tonya was little. She really felt the cold back then.
Мы
Used
сейчас
to
с
get
какой-то
ill all the
Тоней
time.
познакомимся.
I
Я
Да,
felt
это
so
очень
bad for her
страшно,
seeing her
во второй
lying in
главе.
bed, coughing. She was so mature for her age, though. Whenever someone came to visit her, she'd greet them with a smile and would never complain. I'm sure Paimon's a good kid, too. You're a little short on manpower, right? Let me have a couple of my people
Интересно,
take over for
Паймон
yours.
ребенок?
I'll send my most capable and reliable.
Я что-то...
Ну, идет
They'll
с
make
вами.
sure Paimon can recover in
Давай,
peace.
как ребенок.
Well, that would be great. Your people are more qualified.
Hey, don't mention it. I'm sure you have things to do. Hopefully this takes a load off your mind. So no more accusing me of not being on your side, all right?
Только прибыв в Снежную, я встретил Шута.
Already? That was quick.
Кажется, он знает Пайму. Я хочу встретиться с ним еще раз и все выяснить.
I'm afraid I can't help you there. Our director's recent movements are confidential. Even we're not in the loop. If you hadn't told me, I never would have known he'd gone south. I assumed he'd been in Glupov this whole time.
Ясно.
Well, I guess I'd better go sort out Paimon's security situation. I have some other work to catch up on at Glupov anyway.
Me too. I have an incident report to write up. Let's leave it there for now.
Такое. Я случайно
I
себе
guess everyone's in a
заспойлерил,
difficult position.
что
but
Паймы
Tartaglia
будет
is right.
очень мало
I have things
в
to
этой
do.
сюжетке.
Things I want to do, and things I ought to do. To start with, I should go ask Alosha if he knows of any way to help Sviet Lilydovka.
Ну-ка поговорим с Алёшей. Получен лайк.
Интересно, вот там, где драгоценный сундук?
Да, видимо. Он где-то тут ведь был, да? Там, где... Вон, как где церковь выглядела, как будто у него вывеска казино. Сейчас я увидел фиолетовую штуку. Надо потрогать. Есть. Это мы на что смотрим? На вот это вот. Мгм. Так, семена. Опа. Это тут было? Кажется, на входе. Но больше не
Или
видно.
нет?
Ну, или это был ресторан. Может быть, это был ресторан. А это что такое? А это просто дверь, в которую нельзя войти. Короче, ладно. Может, это считалось как другая локация, когда была другая часть сюжетки.
Ну-ка, ну-ка. Здесь, наверное...
Рядом есть драгоценный сундук. Тоже
Куда иди
вариант.
сюда.
Рядом нет драгоценный сундук. Угу. О, 12
12 лайков.
Так, а что это такое? Поблизости есть материал. А, это то, чему...
Это чужие.
То, чему я поставил лайк, видимо. Наверное.
Нет, это просто... Ну, те, которые у тебя есть тут,
Угу.
в твоем мире.
Так, а
Машу.
тут я оставил. Ты везучий животное.
0 лайков.
0 лайков. Никто не поставил. Эх. Так. Нам куда-то сюда. Вот что это за галка. Я ее никогда, кстати, не трогал до этого.
How strange. This sword seems to be vibrating
О,
of
нам
its
была
own accord.
возможность прокачивать эту штуку.
It's a very faint vibration, but it's getting stronger as I get closer to the statue of the Seven. Does this sword have some connection to the statue?
Царица.
But all it does is vibrate.
Зарою
Even when I
ее,
touch it.
когда будет ее
That
бан.
place I got this sword from was definitely out of the ordinary. Maybe I should try channeling the power of cryo?
Я уже получил для нее адету. Надеюсь, она будет ей нужна.
Нужна-то будет. Но... Ну, наверное, ты обойдешься и цици, кем там еще.
Так.
Потому что не думал, что ты других будешь убивать.
Ну да, посмотрим. Так, что
Нажми
тут
Ешку.
Ешка.
Поставь.
It worked! There really is something
Теперь
special
подойди
about
к
this
нему.
sword.
Улучшить клинок. Во,
И вот
оно
так
что.
каждый статуя.
Мгм. Читать я это все не буду, мне лень. Да. Статы улучшаются, в общем, мне этого достаточно.
I don't really understand what just happened, but I'm pretty sure this sword just got a little more powerful.
Пойдем потрогаем другие сейчас.
I'll have to try the same thing again when I come across another statue of the Seven. In the meantime, I'd better go find Alosha.
Так, тут у нас что-то. Это в воздухе или на стене? Кариоку. Раз уж я заметил, сейчас пойду слажу, потрогаю его. Так, на эту штуку можно, наверное, будет отдохнуть. О, да. И на этой штуке можно отдохнуть. А сюда он лезть не хочет. Камон. Чуц-чуц. Залазь. Вот так,
Давай,
может
давай.
быть. Ну и архитектура, тут не полазишь. Так, а вот по этой можно. Пришли. Должно быть прямо здесь. Еще выше? Нет, не выше.
Ну-ка,
Зря.
обернись. И наверх посмотри. Нет.
Зря лез. А где оно тогда? Вот там. Как я его не увидел, я смотрел вверх. Ну ладно. Все равно надо было залезть куда-нибудь повыше. Оба. Отмечаю. Пойдем потрогаем следующую статую архонтов, которая тут была открыта где-то. Она была открыта. Вот
Ну вот
эту я
у тебя еще
трогал.
две.
Две? Вот это.
И чуть ниже там.
Это хорошо. Это та локация, где играть в шутер надо. Ну вот там, которая... Вот это.
Да.
Как-нибудь можно будет, посмотрим.
Ну там задание мира проходит.
Еще я понял, что мне, наверное, надо экипировать путешественника, чтобы ешкой стукать.
Не обязательно. Стоп.
Получается, обязательно.
Нет, надо мечом. Да, вот главный путешественник. Я просто за эту активирую.
Подумал, может дать Фурине, но не буду. У нее больно сигна хорошая. Так,
This
тебя
world...
ты вот так делай. Замечательно. Жмем кнопочку. Плюс одна пробуда. Пойдем дальше. Последний из оставшихся. Всего, получается, будет 7 вот этих вот стадий архонта. У каждой мы сделаем вот так.
Тут у тебя вроде еще 2 не активировано.
Ну-ка посмотрим, что там у нас. Не, у меня не активировано много. Просто довезло. Нам еще 4 надо.
Ну, я про статую, которая вот на данный момент доступна.
Ну-ка, ну-ка. Они еще не все доступны. Там потом будут какие-то. Раз. Два. А дальше, типа, пока не откроется.
Ну да, это в следующем обновлении. Точнее, в следующем вроде не будет ничего, но... А вот потом что-то будет.
Ясненько, ясненько. Пойдем вот к этой точке телепорта, вот отсюда, например.
Можешь ГГшку убрать.
Точно. Давай мне обратно сигнали. Я ГГшку не умею играть.
Let's go gather some sa-
Да, на него тоже, наверное, новый сет надо будет поставить.
Знак восклицания. Нет, мы такой обходим. Из этого города, вроде из Снежнограда, надо было выйти в какую-то сторону. Там были спорящие люди. И так мы получим квест, который про... Я забыл, как ее зовут. Ирину Николаевну.
Да. По-моему... Ну-ка. Мне кажется, я сначала изначально их где-то увидела около Катерины. Наткнулась на них, потом они еще где-то не встретились.
Там написано, ну посмотрим, может быть мы быстро допроходим вот эту первую главу. Вторую главу оставим на потом, когда ты в следующий раз приедешь в гости. Проходим вторую главу тоже по пару часов вечером.
Ну, вторая, она, наверное, в целом как раз... на 2 стрима. Получится.
Потому что говорили, что-то типа 10 часов займет все вместе. Кто-то поет. Я пытаюсь понять, это по-русски поет. Что-то сложно.
Непонятно.
Непонятно. Сигнале не кряхти. Звук слушай. Не залез.
По-моему, там что-то стояло со сна.
По-моему, да, по-моему, на русском, но это не точно. Есть. Так. Нашли мы не за этим. Во-первых, надо активировать эту штуку, чтобы... А, кстати, тут еду продают. И прочее какой-то мусор. Посмотрим, что тут уникального есть. Мед. 100. Давайте. До 60 сделаем, наверное. Еда. Хозяин квасника. Напитки вкусные, недорого. Пусть есть мороженое. Почему-то такое делают.
Ну, видимо, сундук дадут.
Да, конечно, есть в моем магазине полно всяких вкусностей. Несколько дней назад я сам придумал совершенно новый рецепт мороженого. Вкус отличный, а цена при этом низкая. Сейчас как раз проходит бесплатная дегустация, давай попробуй. Да, обычно эта кнопка, значит, не сундук, а просто что-то дадут в
Да,
диалоге.
вспомнила, как мадам Пин давала цветочки.
Квас, у них есть квас.
Глуповский хлеб.
Так, это мы все купим. Борщ. Хочу.
У нас там еще с того раза есть борщец. Ну, ты уже покупал борщ в другом месте, в ресторане.
А, с того раза, я думал, АРЛ в холодильнике есть.
Нет.
Тут какие-то сундуки, но я пока не хочу в этом участвовать. Пойдем главный квест потрогаем лучше. Нам бы главный успеть пройти за ближайшие пару дней. Так. Что это тут у нас?
Hello there. How can I help?
Я ищу Алёшу.
Ah, sure thing. Give me a second. I'll go fetch him for you.
Хочу борщ.
Я тоже.
Интересно, есть какой-нибудь растворимый?
It's a
Есть.
familiar story.
Название
I've had
готово
similar
смесь.
experiences. Although
магните,
Снежная doesn't
наверное, тоже
deliberately
есть.
delay or withhold relief, those first few days of
Ну,
waiting for
гляньте.
help are
Сможем
always
зайти
the
после
hardest.
стрима.
It's a fundamental contradiction. If emergency relief can't be delivered in time, what's the point in even calling it emergency relief? Not necessarily. I think there's a good chance that Kresny Crystal from Chateau Moros will start flowing into the market.
Сретоморозск.
When we resolve Chateau Moros' energy issue, it's like we open the floodgates. A huge backlog of Crystal is now available to the townspeople. There's no way they can use it up at once. A lot of them will probably stockpile it and slowly work their way through. Probably a good idea, since energy prices are only going to keep rising. But there will always be people who urgently need Mora. Exactly. At the current prices, selling Crystal is an easy way for an ordinary person to make a fortune.
Экономика от озона.
Hey boss, how much do I have left in my account?
1 second, let me check. So, you're planning on buying the crystal out of your own pocket?
Yeah. I don't know if I have enough, so I'll chip in a little extra and buy as much as I can afford.
Недостающую часть заплачу я, или я не могу позволить оплатить самому. не
No,
знаю.
no, it's fine.
Это все равно
You're
ничего
new
не
to
дает.
Снежная, and you have your own living expenses to worry about. Besides, you're already providing the train.
Here's your Mora. See what you can find at the market. But I doubt there'll be much crystal left.
Yeah, well, can't hurt to take a look. Let's see. Huh?
Адетта. Почему она здесь?
Oh, Alosha, and
Привет. Мы просто убили эту тетю, которую ты знал.
hello.
I didn't realize you two knew each other.
Мы вместе помогали, и я не знал, что вы знакомы. Нет варианта ответа, что мы убили ее тетю.
Yeah, I take on some odd jobs in the city to supplement my hunting income. Sometimes I work as a cleaner or prop hand at the theater where Odette is one of the big stars, so I've met her a few times. When the weather's as bad as this, it's better for a hunter to adapt than to keep looking for game.
Yes, and we sometimes need extra help.
Wait, why is the atmosphere so awkward? I thought things went pretty smoothly in Sviatlo-Lidovka. So, what brings you here, Miss Odette? Looking for some new props?
Я посмотрел
No.
на другой экран, думаю,
After I
пора
got back to the
убежать.
theater, I couldn't stop thinking about the situation in Sviatlo-Lidovka. It bothered me so much, I couldn't focus on my dancing. So I decided I'd come here and see if there's anything I can do.
Не можешь это так оставить, да?
You too, I presume. I suppose that's why you're here. I didn't feel comfortable expressing my true opinions in front of the Harbingers. Not least because ordinary Fatui like me don't even know what Project Stuja is all about. Without knowing the full picture, I can't make sense of it. And at some point, if things aren't making sense to me, I can't just keep going along with it.
So many people feel the same way. They wish they could do something, but all kinds of reservations hold them back. Explains why groups like the Roadcott are springing up to fill the gap.
Yes. Well, that's one option. But there are risks to consider with organizations like that. The Fatui does not encourage their activities.
Right, because things can get out of hand, and it's hard to hold the right people accountable when they do. I've heard about a few cases like that.
Sandrone said Odette was on track to inherit the title of the Fair Lady. If so, she'll be able to find out what Project Stuja is really about. Still, it's probably a little soon to ask her about that. There may be more to the story.
What's on your mind?
О том, что ты следующий сеньор. Ничего.
I think we can both agree that no matter which side you're on, it can't stop you from doing the right thing. Where there's a will, there's a way. I know what Rosaline did while she was abroad. You made the right decision, so no hard feelings. So, what's your plan?
Oh, we were gonna buy some crystal. I heard there's some on the market right now.
Funny. I had the same idea. In that case, let me pay. I can claim it back as mission expenses. The real issue here is that government relief is behind schedule. Surely it makes more sense for the state to cover these costs than for us to pay out of our own pockets.
True. It's a huge expense after all.
Let me see. I'll take it all, please. And I'll be needing a receipt. Right. Choose mission budget under the expense category, but be sure to specify emergency rescue operation in the description. Otherwise, the normal reimbursement limit will apply. Let's book this train. Regulations say that if we need to transport Kresnik Crystal during Project Stuja, extra carriages can be added 1 hour before departure.
Кивает.
That should do it. The train will be escorted to its destination by Fatui guards.
This is my first time seeing you handle Fatui affairs, Miss Odette. It seems you're as skilled an officer as you are a dancer.
You flatter me. It's only because I've been doing both my whole life.
Забыли звук поезда добавить.
Ну, тихонько.
Тихонечко. Как трамвай по снегу, не слышно, подкрался. Значит, можно не переживать.
Anyway, I bet you've been non-stop today, am I right? Any idea how Paimon's doing?
Паймон,
What's
точно.
wrong? Who's Paimon?
Her travel buddy hasn't been feeling well. She caught a cold right after they got to Снежная.
Sounds like she's important to you. I can't believe you've been dealing with this on top of everything you've been doing to help the people of Снежная.
I've got nothing going on right now, so I'll join you. I want to see how she's doing.
May I come too? I have some candy that someone gave me back in Svietlo-Laidovka. Plus, I know a little bit about relieving cold symptoms.
Она любит компанию и определенно любит конфеты.
All right then, let's go.
Немножко страшно подпускать Адетту к Паймону. Вдруг она решит
I still don't know
поквитаться.
what the deal is between these two, but at least the tension seems to have vanished. A
Да,
good
я
sign,
просто
hopefully.
шучу. Похоже, Адетта не против того, что случилось с сеньорой. Так, потрогать штуку. Где оказались? Почти там же. Пойдем к Паймон. Можно ножками пробежать, посмотреть, что тут еще есть.
Можно.
Снизу у нас пути. Он пробежал. О, нет. Всеслав, вы зашли слишком далеко. Это не ваше дело. С дороги. Линденович. Это территория лучкинцев, и здесь, естественно, распоряжаются лучкинцы. Вот и прошлись, 2 шага не сделал, мы попали в сайд-квест. Ты забыл, в нашем законе черным на белом сказано: семьи не трогать. Женщин, детей не обижать, или для вас, измайловцев, эти правила больше не писаны. Значит, ты твердо намерен стать у меня на пути. Что случилось? А мы уже с Паймон.
Ну, потому что это задание мира.
Да, просто
Да.
не обращайте внимания, Паймон поправилась. Ненадолго. Повторяю последний раз, Всеслав, лучше не суйте нос не в свое дело. Почетный сударь тоже учил, долг платежом края, ага. Дайте еще несколько дней, моего папу вы уже забрали на лесопилку отрабатывать долг, а мама из-за болезни не может работать. Дома только бабушка и я не специально. Я не специально не плачу. Мы с бабушкой стараемся продавать кукол, чтобы вернуть папин долг. Совсем скоро мы с бабушкой сможем делать по 7 кукол в день. Нам нужно всего 4 дня, а нет 3. И мы соберем деньги за этот месяц. 3 дня. Опять 3 дня. Предыдущий должник тоже говорил, что вернет нам деньги через 3 дня. Но в тот же вечер мы поймали его в подпольном казино. Ни один должник никогда не задумывался, почему он докатился до такого. Стоит людям потерять доверие, они постепенно превращаются в мусор. Это же вы пришли раньше срока. Да, давайте. Блондиночка и эта малявка фея, откуда вы взялись? Да, мы понимаем, к чему все идет. Постукаем противных больших NPC, заступимся за бедных кого-то там. Подожди, трущобы, это же тот самый крест. Все, ладно, тогда это кое-что меняет. Покажи мне, на что ты способна. Quick Time Event. Ничего себе, что-то новое в Genshin. Кое-что умеешь еще раз. Это я оплошал. Нам даже самим подраться не дали. Как-то не похоже на то, что обычно Genshin делает. Впечатляет, как быстро ты делаешь выпады. Отличное фехтование. На этот раз я проиграл. Кто это тут у нас?
София.
Зеленых колпаков. Откуда взялась эта блондиночка? Она и правда кое-что умеет. По закону проигрыш есть проигрыш. Дают 2 дня отсрочки, но через 2 дня я вернусь. Девчонка, не думаю, что тебе удастся сбежать. Все будет хорошо, Марфа, я обещаю. Да, спасибо вам за помощь. Если бы вы не мешались, мы бы не справились. Меня зовут Всеслав. Я лучкинец. А вас как зовут? Я Пайман. Это Калямити. Я Марфа, сестренка. Спасибо тебе. Все в порядке. Кстати, кто вообще был этот Лин, что-то там? Он кредитор папы. Папа из азартных игр задолжал им кучу денег, они его забрали.
Папа играет в гачи.
Играет в гачи. Они измайловцы. О, я помню его. Измайловцы — одна из многих банд Снежной. Самый крупный, но и самый ужасный. Их главарь, юный сударь, в последнее время действует с большим размахом. Аппетит банды к морю вырос неимоверно. Они даже начали принудительно взыскивать долги женщин, детей. До такого докатились. Это возмутительно. Фига, у него сколько ножиков он на них ходит. Софья, она. Ладно. Чуть не забыл представить. Здравствуйте, я Софья Павловна Зайцева. Альф из Лучкинцев. Банды, следующий путем справедливости. Вы так же хороши в бою, как о вас говорят легенды. Я довольно известна. Чужеземная страница. Мы все так или иначе слышали о ваших деяниях. В общем, в последнее время все больше людей, таких как Марфа, которых притесняют измайловцы, приходят к нам, лучкинцам, за помощью, но поток просящих не иссякает. Хотя мы, лучкинцы, и стоим на стороне справедливости, мы тоже не можем помочь всем расплатиться с долгами. Ведь в большинстве случаев справедливость мало что стоит. Все в порядке, если не придут через 2 дня, к тому времени мы с бабушкой точно найдем деньги, чтобы им отдать. Допустим, в этот раз сможете заплатить, а в следующий долг растет с процентами, вы уже сейчас едва успеваете выплачивать даже проценты. Вот это да, и чего это измайловцы такие злые? Многочисленные беды Снежной изначально создавались... Банды Снежной изначально создавались для защиты горожан. Измайловцы своими действиями уже нарушили установленный закон. Они превратились в ядовитых кровопийц, присосавшихся к горожанам. К сожалению, наша группировка слишком мала, чтобы противостоять измайловцам, иначе мы бы точно смогли остановить их бесчинство. Проклятие, эти негодяи совсем совесть потеряли, давай поможем им. Отчего же не помочь? Ваше владение мечом превосходное, отвага не знает равных. С вашей помощью шансы остановить измайловцев значительно возрастут. Не волнуйтесь, мы не просим вас помочь просто так. В банде есть свои правила. В законе написано, что помощь должна вознаграждаться. Мы поможем, еще и вознаграждение получим. Именно так. Хорошо, а теперь следуйте за мной. Возможно, наш предводитель захочет сказать вам пару слов. Предводитель. Да, змей будет раз вас... она использует это как лыжи. Или как кольки, скорее. Раз это лезвие. Снежная давным-давно была страной, которой правят альвы. И большинство в банде тоже альвы. Но с тех пор, как Снежной стала править царица, предпочтение отдается людям. Змею, как человеку, всегда проще общаться с нынешними господами у власти, чем нам, альвам. Сейчас он, наверное, тоже переживает из-за измайловцев. Пойдемте за мной. Можно потом? Можно, давай быстро уйдем на телепорте на всякий случай. Чтоб квест дальше не активировался. Мы пока пойдем все-таки по основной сюжетке. Мы идем к Пайман. Проведать, как она там. Всей компании. С Адеттой и Алешей. Рядом есть сундук, в то же время рядом нет сундук. Надо будет что-нибудь еще поставить. Мы можем в ресторане поставить табличку? Сейчас подумаю.
Я не вижу буквы здесь.
Да, нет, он не работает. Мы у тебя что-то покупали, давай посмотрим.
Борщицу не покупали.
Хочу.
Медовик тоже.
В наличии 10. Это колбаса, они по 10, они по 100 продают. И это куплю. И это куплю. Не знаю зачем, я просто покупаю все айтемы, которых у меня мало. Меньше сотни или типа того.
Деньги некуда доставать.
Да, сколько их у меня.
Поделился, да.
Да, нельзя таким заниматься в Genshin.
Hello. Sorry, but there's a sick person recovering in this room. Can I help you?
What happened?
Не волнуйся. Ты из ребят Тартали. Как его звали? Сытин?
Oh,
Сытин.
please, excuse me. Are you the traveler? Could I take a quick look at your adventurer handbook? Master Child said I should verify your identity.
Handbook. Вот.
Ah, it's really you. Sorry for the inconvenience. We're under strict orders from Master Child to keep this room well guarded. At the same time, we can't interfere with Podvoye Restaurant's business. That would only seem all the more suspicious and draw unwanted attention to this room. Besides myself, a few of my colleagues are stationed in and around the restaurant, in plain clothes, of course. Rest assured, you're in safe hands.
I didn't expect such a high standard of protection.
Well, Master Child handpicked us for this special assignment. We're not about to let anything go wrong. Anyway, I won't keep you any longer. Please, head inside.
Traveler! Alicia, you're back! Oh, hey! Who's our new friend?
Hi, I'm Odette. The Traveler and I crossed paths a few times.
Очень надежный член Фатуи, на нее можно положиться.
Another friend from the Fatui, huh? You're practically a member
Насколько мне
yourself by
больше
this
нравится
point.
новая озвучка Пайман. Как хорошо, что старая актриса развыпендрилась, ее кикнули. Как ты себя чувствуешь?
I'm definitely on the mend. We should be back to our usual travels in a few days' time. Seems like that doctor was right. It's just... Paimon's limbs are still feeling a little chilly.
I have just the thing.
Whoa! What's this? Is that... a flame inside an ice cube? Wait, is this real ice? How's it not melting? And how does the fire keep on burning?
All keen observations. You're right. This is called core ignis. Whenever I've caught a cold in the past, I found I recover much more quickly if I place this by my bed. You're welcome to borrow it.
Awesome!
Мне
Wow!
показалось, поймал
It's so
лизнул.
nice and warm! Oh, it's like magic. Your name was Odette, right? How did you two meet again?
Looks like she's in pretty good spirits. That's a relief. Any progress with your investigation yet?
Нет.
No surprises there, I'm sure. They're not likely to let anything slip.
Попробуй иной подход.
The Rokad, huh?
Они могут знать, что происходит на самом деле. Знаешь, как с ними связаться? Так странно, что дают выбрать вариант ответа. На самом деле, как будто персонаж произносит обе эти реплики.
Да-да, моя сестра тоже постоянно жалуется.
Let me think. Members of the Rokad keep their true identities hidden, but I think there might be someone I can introduce you to. Leave it with me. Meet me at the Korolyevsky troupe tomorrow, and I'll tell you how it goes.
Would anyone like a drink? I'm gonna head to the bar.
Кофе. Чтобы я перестал
I'll
зевать.
have... maybe some hot milk? Yeah. Paimon's in the mood for something warm. Enough with the secret chat, you two. Let's catch up properly in a minute. Paimon wants to know everything that's happened today. It'll be kind of like tabletop troupe. No reason why listening to a story can't be an adventure.
Мы сегодня этим занимаемся, слушаем истории. Такой кнопкой быстро и доступно подождать. Давай, отдохните до завтра, до 8 утра. Пойму, легла спать. Время у нас 11:30. Пойдем.
Хочешь сходить?
Вживемся в роль. Куда они там пошли?
Keep up.
В бар снизу.
Ты одёшь и одету ищешь?
Да.
Они, наверное, уже ушли, задание закончилось.
Да, я знаю.
Я думала, ты к этим из Малки.
Нет, наверное, я их оставлю на потом. Посмотрим, как закончим вот эту, короче, основную сюжетку. Если останется время, пройдем
Какие
их.
красивые чашечки.
Вот эти?
Да.
Твой любимый, зеленый.
Ну, это скорее бирюзовый, но
Да, немного,
тоже.
немного больше в синеву отдает.
Тортик. У нас тоже тортик есть.
Да, тут еще и освещение оранжевое, так что они, наверное, еще более синие. Спатеньки. До 8 утра. Так.
Проснулась.
Проснулся.
The boss is gonna give Paimon a copy of the latest newspaper to read. That should keep
Ёрзик.
Paimon entertained.
От радости.
The boss is gonna give Paimon a copy of the latest newspaper to read.
Пойдем.
Кто-то ждет.
If there's anything you need, please let me know.
Так, куда нам? Нам туда, пешочком сходим. Ой, надеюсь, мы не наткнемся на какой-нибудь еще сайт-квест, пока идем. Но у нас выбора нет, нам надо. Наверное, да, перелезем через забор. Да, думаю, нам сюда.
Белочки.
Белочки. Распугал. Не убегали, пока я на них не наступил случайно. Мы недавно видели крысу на соседней улице. Кого мы еще видели? Собаку С офигенной
Слизняк.
раскраской,
I don't see
слизняка.
weather like this very often.
Ты
Oh,
превосходный.
are you cold? If you want, you can tuck your hands into my tail.
Хочу вон то взять. Давай-ка мы положим что-то. Белочек мы видим чаще, чем крыс. Поэтому крыса была более особенной. Мы давно белок не видели, потому что мы в основном по вечерам гуляем.
Да, они где-то к 18 ложатся спать.
Ну, я понял, откуда лайки. Лайки же могут ставить вот на такие штуки тоже. То есть любую, которую ты рандомно устанавливаешь.
Ты не отметил. Крёвку не
Не
отметил.
отметил, точно. Забыл. Пиксель хантинг. Ну ладно, насколько можно близко поставил к тому месту, где взял. Разберусь потом с картой.
Ah, you made it. I've got some tickets, and I managed to set something up with the Rokot. It'll have to wait until after the show, though. Happy to stay and watch? I doubt you've seen the Korolyevsky troupe on stage before.
Королевский.
Pleasure.
Конечно.
Here, this is the way in.
Хочу погрызть сладкую булку.
Please present yourself for a routine inspection in accordance with theater
Прошло
regulations.
чуть меньше
Thank you.
полстрима. Я не хочу ждать еще больше часа, чтобы погрызть сладкое.
Is that guy with the fatui? Looks like he's waiting for something.
Okay, all done. Thank you for your cooperation.
Ладно, я уберу
Please
подальше
proceed
микрофон,
through to the
покажу им.
theater.
What's up? Everything okay? Snezhnaya's business and political leaders are always passing through here, so it makes sense that security's tight. Still, it's a little unusual to see the Fatui's Armory Palace guard here. You saw him, right? The guy right at the back. Strong, silent type. His name's Valeri. He's part of the Special Assignments Battalion, but I only ever see him here for one thing. To look for a guy named Mitya. Supposedly a researcher, though he never seems to put much time in at the office. The theater is one of his favorite places to hang out when he's playing hooky from work. But that's not for us to worry about. Let's go. The show's about to start. What do you think? Pretty impressive, huh? Oh, the one in Fontaine? I hear it's iconic. Never seen it for myself, though. Here we are, just in time. Sorry, coming through.
На что это он так смотрит?
If you're gonna show up late, keep your mouth shut.
Уф.
What's his problem? Whatever. No point arguing with people like that.
Look, there she is. That's who I'm introducing you to later. She's the lead singer of the troupe, Vodyanitsa.
Это не она будет петь песню.
Она.
Сейчас или потом?
Ну вот я не помню.
Ну давай послушаем.
Надеюсь, сейчас. Ну-ка.
А ее баннер уже был?
Нет, он в следующее обновление первое.
Как будто вокалоид поет на русском. Я даже понял пару слов.
This leads directly to the green room. They're expecting us. Vodyanitsa will be waiting for us there.
Странно, что песня была такая тихая. Мне пришлось прибавить, и все равно было не громко. Теперь мы на сцене. Можно достать музыкальный инструмент, но мне лень. Я им не пользуюсь, ведь я не против. Он заменит одну из этих, да, которые мне экипированы. Тогда не буду. Играть все равно не смогу. Так. Тетя подметает. Какая у нее шуба. Хочу туда сходить. Мне понравилось место. Посиди. Заметил еще одну дверь, ну ладно.
Hey there, excuse me.
Can you believe it? I am so mad right now. Come in.
Фига, цундерочка.
It's you two.
Не ожидал встретить тебя здесь.
Huh? You know each other? Oh, wait. Is this who you were telling me about? The one you met yesterday and couldn't stop thinking about?
I never said that.
Yes, you did. Why are you denying it? It was right before I went on that rant about the moody factory owner. Oh, I remember it so clearly.
Might I ask what brings you two here?
Oh, I just brought her here to see the show. And when it finished, she was full of praise for Vodyanitsa's performance. So I thought I'd try my luck, see if we could get the chance to chat for a bit. Maybe get an autograph?
You work here. You of all people ought to know that's against the rules. It's not what the green room is there for.
Oh, what's the big deal? Come on, don't be shy. I can give you an autograph. You can take a picture too if you want.
Do as you please. I finished all my shows for the day. I'll leave you to chat.
I wasn't making that stuff up, you know. Odette's just too proud to admit it. She thinks very highly of you. And so do I. You did the right thing in Svetloladovka.
We're good. Odette's out of earshot. I'll lock the door.
Фига, что пошло? В чем дело?
Confidentiality, of course. The Rokot is very strict on that.
Whoa, Alosha! Not out loud. Not with an outsider here.
Relax, I've taken care of it. Look at this.
The president's reply sent this morning. Wait, so she's been approved to join?
Oh, wow.
You told me last night that you wanted to get intel from the Rokot. Unfortunately, Rokot intel is only available to members. But ever since you set foot in Snežnaya, we've been working together. I've seen the way you work, your character, and your motives. Everything about you is perfectly in alignment with what we're trying to achieve in the Rokot. So I figured I might as well cut to the chase. I wrote a letter to the president explaining your situation, including just the right amount of detail. His approval came very quickly. Of course, it's still your decision whether you want to join or not. We'll respect your choice.
Значит, ты водяница члена Рокота.
Well, assuming Odette was telling the truth and she didn't misjudge you, I guess we don't need to worry about you blowing our cover. Still, you gave me a real fright. I didn't know that's why you came looking for me. So, that stuff you said about admiring my performance, was that just because Odette was here? Did you actually mean it?
Нет, это правда. Мне очень понравилось.
Now you're talking. That's what I like to hear.
Anyway, let me give you a quick rundown of how things work. Like I said, the Rokot is a covert organization, and we hide our identities. Members typically don't meet in person or even know each other's identities. This helps us maintain a high level of independence and secrecy. Because of this, members are basically free to decide their methods without constraints. so long as the outcome of any activity doesn't violate the organization's principles.
After all, we don't have any ostensible contact with each other. This way, if anything goes wrong, no one else will be implicated.
Beyond the freedom to choose how you operate, it's also your choice whether to act at all. We have plenty of members who have yet to take any action. In short, joining the Rokot in and of itself won't place any restrictions on your activity in Снежная. There's a code of conduct you can read if it interests you. But basically, as long as you don't plan on using your anonymity to go around doing evil, you'll be fine.
I tried reading it 5 or 6 times. Never made it all the way through. Even the most lackluster script makes for more interesting reading.
Great. Then I'll go grab an official application form. Be right back.
Привет. Раз вы храните свои личности в тайне, откуда вы знаете друг друга?
Well, Alosha has this pet dog, you see. His name's Tagarin. And this one time, Alosha brought him backstage.
Любительница собак.
Tagarin took quite a liking to me, so I played with him for a little bit and fed him some treats. Then, the Rokot was out on a mission one day, and even though we were all in disguise, Tagarin recognized me right away.
Just a coincidence, really. We didn't report it to the higher-ups, though, to avoid dealing with the fallout. Like... my job at the theater, for instance. I really needed to make ends meet. By the way, what were you complaining about just before we came in? Did everything go okay with Chuganov?
Everything did not go okay. That's why I was so mad. I tried to make some small talk with him before I went on stage to fish for intel about the Iskra manufacturing plant. But he wouldn't take the bait. No matter what I said, he kept dodging the question. And then he started complaining. He said he didn't appreciate his second-rate seat in the stalls because he usually gets a private box. I mean, what did he expect? Everyone knows that if you want a box seat, you buy a ticket well in advance. But instead, he sends me a letter the day before the show when we're practically sold out. I had to juggle things around just to get him a half-decent seat, hoping he would appreciate the gesture enough to share some information. But nope, he didn't give me anything.
Yeah, meeting Chuganov in person has definitely been a disappointing experience. Oh, you probably don't know who we're talking about, do you? Chuganov was that older guy you were sitting next to today. I'm sure he didn't make a great first impression on you either.
Хотели у него данные узнать. У него там какой-то завод, связанный с кристаллами этими.
Ясно. Большой
To the
ворчун.
citizenry, he's a family man and a kind boss. But our interactions with him tell a very different story. It's one thing to ask for a favor, but he acts like it's his right. He always expects special treatment. Take the ticket situation, for instance. I've actually gotten him a private box in the past. But not only was he not even grateful, now he's acting like I've sold him short this time. Not to mention that he's never paid for a single one of his tickets. And another thing, if he's such a big family man, why doesn't he bring his wife and daughter to see the show once in a while? I've never seen them here, not even once.
Calm down, Vodyanitsa. If you won't do it the easy way, we'll have to try the hard way. But first things first. Here's your application form. Go ahead and fill it out.
Application form. Это на вступление в Rocket или...
Да.
Какой почерк? Меня зовут, а мне...
Там выбрать вариант.
Модпай, Фейк Миллер, Октотавия, моя раса, человек, Альф, Додоко, Примагем, кодовое имя, причина заявки. Так, в конце это прочитаю. Причина заявки, ищу подработку. Противостоять проекту Стужа. Рокот, это круто. Положить конец этой организации. Мама сказала попробовать. По сюжету, наверное, это я прослушал.
Да.
Или второе.
Да, но все обычно выбирают что-то, ну, посмешнее вот в этой анкете. Ну, ты можешь что угодно.
Да. Кодовое имя. Возможно, это нас будут называть.
Нет, к сожалению. Я вот уже ждала.
Мореплаватель, не знаю. Мимик, сундук, не знаю. Морская бездна, номер 12. Пост картошки фри. Владыка семи бедствий. Хм-м-м. Ни одно из них не кажется мне хорошим. Jesus Christ, пусть будет про картошку фри. Так я хотя бы буду помнить, если они снова ее скажут.
Looks like I'll need to make a few little tweaks here and there. But other than that, you're good to go. We'll hold on to this for you.
Я выбирал самый нормисный вариант.
Now that we're officially Roka comrades, I can tell you, Chukhanov is the target of our current operation. Recently, we've done some recon work at the Iskra manufacturing plant, which pretty much confirmed that their energy consumption is way beyond the legal limit. All we need now is some direct evidence to present to the Vetcha, so we can demand that they shut the plant down.
That way, the Kresny Crystal can be allocated to where it's needed most.
I was hoping he might let slip during one of our chats, but he's too tight-lipped. We'll have to find another way. I'm meeting another regular theater goer tonight, Mitya.
Алёша упоминал Митю. Его искал какой-то мужик.
But Valeri's here too, and he's probably looking for Mitya, so he may end up being a no-show.
Don't you worry. He must know how to dodge Valeri, or he wouldn't be showing up on time for every performance. Mitya is a renowned energy expert. Although we can't get any direct evidence of the excessive energy consumption at the plant, we can accidentally let the information slip to him. The authorities should take someone like him seriously. So if he starts raising questions about energy use at the Iskra manufacturing plant, there will be a proper investigation. Also, we're not allowed on site, but he has clearance. So all we need is his cooperation.
Раз уж он эксперт по энергетике, знает ли он правду о проекте Стужа?
Yeah, so that's the other thing we're trying to figure out. Though I think we're far less likely to make any progress on that front. Still, I hear that Mitya is a bit of a chatterbox. So, who knows? Maybe if we catch him in the right mood, he'll let something slip.
What do you think? Sound like something worth your time?
Okay, in that case, you guys find a seat somewhere nearby. Pretend you're a couple of buddies there to eat, and keep your ears peeled for useful information. He's a huge fan, so I doubt he'll have his guard up around me. But you two need to be convincing. If he suspects anything at all, he might stop talking.
Sure. Don't worry. We'll make a believable pair of buddies.
Perfect! You've sold me already. Now, help me tidy this room up a bit before we head out.
Okay. What needs tidying?
Everything!
Фига. Нас сделали бесплатными уборщиками. А что, не будут заставлять убирать по-настоящему? А то... где это было?
Хочешь симулятор уборки?
Да, в дейликах и на Зуме, или мне кажется, где мы убирали в храме кошки. Я ведь это не придумал, это ведь было.
Но это было не делики, а отдельное задание.
Отдельное задание.
Еще было задание там, где винокурня. Это пыль там протирать.
Почему мне кажется, что я выполнял его больше, чем один раз?
Там каждый день надо было приходить.
Что-то такое, да, было. Сори. Я уже вхожу. Мне надо выйти. Ладно, похоже, ты не представляю, к сожалению.
К сожалению, ты хотел...
Представляешь, Аркадий, на этот раз у меня было целых 10 реплик. Я от нас сыграл целую сцену, трогательную сцену, где мать оплакивает погибшего ребенка. Ты видел выражение лиц зрителей в зале? Они были так сосредоточены, так захвачены происходящим. Еще немного, и моя игра довела бы их до слез. Это было так прекрасно. Я начинаю чувствовать, что мои усилия вот-вот будут замечены. В следующий раз у меня тут больше реплик. Когда-нибудь я буду сиять так же ярко, как Адетта, и тогда все цветы, взгляды и овации устремятся ко мне. Пусть я уже не молода. Как тебе везет, Таисия. Я так завидую тебе, у тебя еще столько сил думать обо всем этом. А я целый вечер не произнес ни одной реплики. Пока ты роняла слезы по своему погибшему ребенку, я висел над сценой, изображая луну. Как печально, а ведь я тоже работаю на износ. Сцена должна была хоть как-то меня отблагодарить. Не только желтой краской на лице. Давай лучше поскорее наведем здесь порядок. У меня совершенно не осталось сил на какие-либо эмоции. Ох, Аркадий, ты такой зануда. Уф. Все ясно. Луной быть неплохо. Но зачем им отдельный человек на роль Луны? Он просто стоит и своей мимикой изображает, что он чувствует в этот момент, как Луна. Так, куда мы?
Не смогли найти картонную луну.
Не смогли найти, да. Пришлось мясную луну повесить. Загримировать.
Вздыхалов. Ядово.
Вздыхалов, Ядова. Балконов. Мужик уже тут не стоит, который бегает.
Нет, он же не будет всю ночь стоять.
Ну да, справедливо. Пойдем быстрым телепортом. Привет.
We come here often, so we shouldn't stand out. Let's sit here. Now, it's up to Vodyanica. Let's see how the conversation goes.
Вот он какой. Аниме-бой.
Mr. Metia! Over here! Over here!
Oh, sorry. I got a little held up on my way here. Now we have even less time than we planned. Hey, go ahead and order some snacks and drinks. Whatever you like. Let me see. According to my schedule, we still have 25 minutes left.
You're really pressed for time today, huh? I was imagining this would be a leisurely chat. If you'd prefer, we can always reschedule for another afternoon when you have more time.
No need. Getting to meet the lead singer is a very precious opportunity for me. I'm not about to pass it up. I've already had to decline your invitation several times because our schedules rarely align. If I don't grab this chance while it's here, who knows when the next one will come around?
Well, it's very kind of you to make time just for me.
Что у него с шарфом, он будто живой. А еще я заметил, что они оба не достают до пола, когда сидят на стуле.
I'm not too sure, to be honest. But Снежная is full of weird and wonderful things like that, so people tend not to bat an eye. I'm sure the same will go for the Eye of Grey and Paimon.
Окей. Зато передвигаться стало удобнее. Я прослушал, о чем вообще. Странные вещи. Местных уже ничем не удивишь, даже оком Грая. Ах да.
The reason I invited you out for tea and a chat today was to get some feedback from a true fan of the theater.
Well, I genuinely have nothing bad to say. No matter how many times I hear you sing, it never gets old. It always seems fresh and new somehow. Maybe it's because the more times I listen, the more details I notice. Or maybe you simply improve with every performance, delivering it better each time.
Thank you! I'm delighted to hear that! Could you give me any specific examples?
Oh, yeah. That, the piece you sang today, for example. beneath the frozen river?
Hey, what's with you? I'm just praising a good performance.
I always used to find that such a bleak and lonely song. But the more you listen, the more you realize that it's not as cold and nihilistic as it appears. When you really dig down into it, there's a certain level where you're surprised by the emergence of hope.
Wow, I'm impressed. I didn't expect you to pick up on that. Actually, I only tried out that angle after talking with the composer. Still, Beneath the Frozen River wasn't on today's program.
Oh, really? But it's a classic. You sing it every time.
Almost every time.
Oh, well then, let me say a few words about that other all-time classic, Flying in the Wind from the Mountain Sparrow.
I didn't sing that one today either. My voice wasn't quite up to it, so I switched it out at the last minute.
Oh, but,
Sorry, Mr. Mitya, but you were at the theater today, yes?
Of course I was. Remember? I said hello to all the troupe members before the show started. You, Odette, and the others.
So what did Odette sing today?
Elegy of the Snow-Winged Goose, of course.
Correct. I see.
Обиделась.
You find my singing boring, don't you? That's why you don't remember a single song. Looks like I'll need to cut a few from the program next time.
No, that's not it. I swear. All right. I'll be straight with you.
Прям как ты.
I'm sorry.
Когда читаешь
My mind was
диалоги.
wandering as you took the stage.
Слушай, даже не читаю.
I enjoy watching your shows because the exquisite performances stimulate the mind. It always sparks some inspiration for my research. So, whenever I get stuck at work, I come to the theater for a change of pace. Odette's dance during the elegy of the Snow-Winged Goose today was simply incredible. It got me wondering what she's been going through recently. That look of sheer defiance in the face of utter tragedy? It was so inspiring. I started scribbling in my notebook right away. Not that I made a ton of progress in the grand scheme of things, but I still think it was productive. By the time I snapped out of it, the entire show had finished.
So what you're saying is, you didn't listen to my singing at all?
Unfortunately not. I'm sorry. I don't know which is more disrespectful. The fact that I don't always come for the show itself, or the fact that I missed your performance.
Seems like things are getting a little awkward.
Почему ты так напрягся?
Mitya just stepped into a conversational minefield. If there's one thing Vodyanitsa doesn't like, it's people who show disrespect for her performance. This meeting was so hard to set up. Don't tell me it's already falling apart.
It's fine. I suppose this is affirming in its own way. At least, it shows that our performance really touches people's hearts, right? Don't let it bother you. It certainly doesn't bother me.
She's showing a lot of restraint.
Должно быть ей непросто.
Well, I'll be sure to let Odette know how much you adored her performance.
Please don't say that. I always love your performances too. It's just that inspiration struck at the wrong time today. I'm usually all ears.
I know, I can tell. That's why I value your opinion. I'm sure some people can't stand it when others praise their coworkers right to their face, but not me. No, sir.
Верю.
Fair enough. I still feel kind of bad though.
But you know what I really can't stand? People who only show up to the theater to pretend that they're cultured. Makes me sick to my stomach.
Oh yeah, 100%. There are too many of those people around. By the time they're walking out the door, they've forgotten all about the show. What's wrong? You look furious.
Молчи.
I don't know if you've heard about the boss of the Iskra manufacturing plant. He isn't even a theater investor, but he always demands the same privileges as actual investors. Box tickets only, premium drinks, even the right to request specific songs.
Well played, Vodyanitsa. Seems like she's harnessing her rage to steer the conversation back on track.
Now that you mention it, I've interacted with that guy before. I gotta say, everyone holds him up as an example of a benevolent businessman, but I don't know. I don't see it.
Yeah, he couldn't care less about what's happening on stage. He's just there to flaunt his social status. I hate that I have to prepare programs for guys like that. What's the big deal with that factory he runs anyway? I asked around a bit and heard some pretty shocking stories. Sounds like he's just another greedy capitalist.
Oh, really?
Yep, the things people are saying are pretty damning. Low wages, insanely long working hours, equipment running around the clock. And as if that's not bad enough, he also strictly forbids his employees from giving any kind of interview. Project Stuja has now been extended so many times, we're at the point where crystal rations for the common folk are barely enough to survive on. Yet he even wants to get his greedy hands on them just to boost his own profits. If the rumors are true, he's in serious violation of the law.
Interesting. So you've heard about it too?
What? So it's really true?
Who knows? I've only heard the same rumors you have. But there's no smoke without fire. The Rooster's been coming down on us hard lately, demanding that we track and trace every single batch of Crystal. My coworkers in the Department of Energy have been tearing their hair out over it.
The Rooster? I didn't realize he cared that much.
Yeah. Even though there are no restrictions on Crystal trading, the poor will wind up freezing to death if we let the rich buy as much as they want. That's clearly unfair. Looks like we'll need to arrange an investigation into the Iskra manufacturing plant as soon as possible. I never knew you kept up with current affairs beyond the theater, Miss Vodyanica. You really have a heart for the common person. Most Fae in your position have long been indifferent to the plight of humans.
Well, those of us who choose to live in human cities are naturally going to pay attention to any significant upheaval. Isn't the Rooster a Fae himself? I'm just surprised to learn that even someone with as much experience as him is getting so stressed out over Project Stuja. What is the end goal of this project anyway?
This is it. We're finally going there.
Yes.
I'm sure Mitya can sense on some level that she's fishing for information. But since their conversation is so relaxed, he might just let something slip.
It's stressing me out too. If I'd only made better progress with my research, things wouldn't have dragged on this long.
Oh, so your work is related to Project Stuja?
That's right. The Armory Palace needs a brand new energy source. Not the power of the Light Realm and not elemental energy. Right now, the only thing that meets the requirements is the power contained within stellar linchpins. But harnessing that power is costly. Each step of the process requires enormous amounts of Kresnik crystal, from extraction to quantification to attempts at conversion. Progress has been painfully slow, and the team is getting burned out as time goes by. Sometimes, I see people staring into space as if in a trance.
Could it be that this new energy source has side effects?
No, it doesn't affect us, because the energy is used for... Okay, I got it. Stop choking me. Sorry, I can't talk about that. I think we're all just exhausted. We've been working ourselves to the bone for so long with so little progress to show for it. It's no wonder people are struggling to stay motivated.
Seems like I owe you an apology. I shouldn't have gotten so mad at you for not paying attention during the show.
Don't worry about it. I count myself lucky, to be honest. I don't envy the people who work closely with the Tsaritsa herself. I'd much rather be in my current position. At least I don't have to shoulder any major responsibilities.
So they're trying to develop a completely new kind of energy.
Жаль, что он больше ничего не услышал.
Yeah, censored by a scarf. Who would have thought?
Oh, dear. It looks like my time is up. I'm afraid I have to leave. I'm so sorry. We ended up barely talking about the theater.
That's okay. It was a pleasure chatting with you, really.
Let's make up for it next time. Yeah, hopefully once the work pressure eases up a little, I'll be able to focus more on the performance, and then we'll have more to discuss. We touched on some confidential issues today. I'd be grateful if you could keep it between us.
Что это его шар показал в конце. Высунулся на секунду.
Nice job. Why was Mitya in such a hurry to leave, though?
Sorry, routine inspection.
Как он узнал?
Okay, let's go.
So he wasn't rushing to get back to work. He must have calculated that Valeri would find him here in exactly 25 minutes. That's frighteningly accurate.
One of the main duties of the Special Assignments Battalion is to ensure that important figures stick to their schedules.
Выходит, он заклятый враг Мити.
All right, time for us to get going too. Excuse me, check please.
We'll settle our check too, then.
Oh, hello there. Mr. Mitya paid the check before leaving. He also asked me to pass on a message. He said it was an honor to share his tea break with Miss Vodyanitsa and her two friends.
Wait.
So he knew we were here all along? This raises a lot of questions. Did he deliberately mention the new energy source so that we'd overhear it? Maybe his work isn't confidential after all. Maybe the key here is the purpose of this new energy. I guess that's the next thing to look into. Vodyanitsa and Alosha have both left. Time to head back and call it a day.
Пора к Паймон. Смотреть, как у нее дела. Где они сидели? Эти двое сидели примерно за таким столиком. Наверное, это единственное место. Паймон, не Паймон. Путешественник с Алешей где-то здесь, видимо. Побежал. Стал. Так.
You're back! Here pretty early today.
Как себя чувствуешь?
Paimon was just gonna mention that. After she woke up today, Paimon felt like her temperature was completely back to normal. But her strength still hasn't returned. Still, there's some good news. Paimon thinks she might have figured out the source of the problem. It's like there's some kind of mysterious power affecting Paimon. Paimon's never felt this way before during any of her travels. She only started feeling this way since we arrived in Снежная.
Таинственные силы, говоришь?
That's right. The Armory Palace needs a brand new energy source.
Could that have something to do with this?
What is it? You're making that face again. You know, the one you get whenever you have a light bulb moment?
Расскажем Паймон секретную инфу.
So, they're trying to develop a new energy source here? And you think that might be why Paimon's feeling unwell? Well, Mitya denied that the energy they're researching has any side effects. Although, he did say that people working on the project have been having issues with their concentration and short-term memory. And even so, those are completely different symptoms from Paimon's.
Ты чувствуешь, откуда исходит сила?
It's pretty faint, so it's kind of hard to tell. But, if anything, it seems like it's coming from roughly the same direction as the Armory Palace.
Yes.
Sure, Paimon's with you there. But how, though? The robot only has a limited amount of intel.
Есть еще одно место, где мы не были, Снежноградское вече.
Oh, great point! They argue about Project Stuzha every day. If we could sit in on one of their sessions, we might pick up some new leads.
Тогда я напишу письмо Алёше.
Good idea! Oh yeah, while you were out, Paimon tried all the yummiest looking desserts in the Podforia restaurant. This one seemed right up your alley. So, Paimon saved some for you.
Фига какой.
Come try it once you finish writing your letter.
Торт из хлебцев. Го, сразу ничего себе. Подождите 2 дня. И он предлагает пропустить сразу 2 дня. Удобно. Может, игра хотела бы, чтобы мы чем-то другим пошли, занялись в это время, но давай уж лучше придерживаться основной сюжетки. Чтобы не забыть, про что здесь вообще.
Alosha replied. He says that we won't be able to speak at the Vecha, but he can arrange for us to attend as visitors. Time to get ready. Then head to the Снежная Vecha.
You're back! Paimon's been working on the crossword puzzle in the newspaper. It's actually pretty fun. Oh, shoot! Paimon forgot the next word. Oh, she had it a moment ago. Think.
Дай-ка я взгляну.
Не похоже на кроссворд.
Только одна эта фраза. Я думал, вдруг будет больше. Нам достали билетики на вече. Это где-то напротив.
Miss Vodyanitsa, prima donna of the Korolievsky troupe. What a surprise meeting you here. Will you be sitting in on a session of the Vecha?
Sorry, I'm not taking interviews today. Oh good, you're here. The session's about to begin. Let's get inside.
Please wait, Miss Vodyanitsa. Could you introduce me to your new friend?
Не дают жизни фанаты. Вскоре после того, как вы занимаете места, начинается заседание Снежноградского веча. Вопрос о продлении проекта тоже оставили напоследок. Цыпленок Пульчинелло представил ряд данных, связанных с энергоснабжением, и скука сменилась необычайным оживлением.
In summary, the energy management commitments made for the outgoing period have been delivered upon. Furthermore, both the production and consumption of Kresnik Crystal show clear signs of stabilizing. The relevant agencies have assessed the present circumstances and determined that the status quo can be sustained until the next period. For detailed statistics, I would refer you to the industry reports that have been distributed to all persons present. It should also be noted that while the recent blizzards have led to a significant increase in people's energy expenses, this is strictly a short-term phenomenon associated with a remotely located monster. Her Majesty the Tsaritsa is giving her full attention to this matter. We should have every confidence that it will be dealt with swiftly and conclusively. A financial report on disaster relief is also present in this report, courtesy of Pantalone.
Шум нарастает, в чем дело?
They cover the same old ground every single time. The rooster never seems to mind, but everyone else is getting tired of it. There's a general lack of trust. People aren't seeing any tangible benefits that affect them directly. Of course, none of that will be reflected in any of the reports on the table.
Yeah, if it weren't for these hard copy documents, I could have at least made something up.
Почему ты до сих пор здесь и почему ведешь себя так фамильярно?
Don't mind me. I'm just out here trying to hit my interview quotas. Bring out the kvass. Ever read it? Best-selling newspaper in town.
If I remember correctly, you guys don't even have a sales permit. You have to sell from stalls on the street.
Okay then. Best-selling street stall newspaper in town. Still counts.
Водку хлещет.
Да, я тоже хотел сказать, что она пьет.
Order! We will now open the floor to the representatives. If there are no further substantive issues to discuss, we will then proceed to a vote on this motion.
Снежная has a long tradition of treating members of the Fatui armed forces and their dependents favorably. But recent surveys shows that Fatui families in remote areas have access to 15% less crystal than the average civilian family in Snezhnograd. It's been said many times before, but it bears repeating now. There needs to be a clear and consistent rationale behind how crystal is allocated, or we will soon face immense public backlash.
Perhaps you wouldn't need to keep repeating yourself if you would hear me out for once. I say again, true consistency exists only in principle. In the real world, fairness is relative. You appear to treat resource allocation as a simple function of production and population. So what about when the equipment used in production breaks down? Have you factored that into your equation? And do you even know how long it's been since Снежная last conducted a census?
If I knew the answers to questions like that, I'm sure I'd be a very wealthy man. And I doubt I'd be going by child. I'd like to bring the focus back to the specific issue I raised. Or do you wish to deny that favorable treatment for Fatui dependents is our long-standing policy?
It's easy to be a critic when there's no accountability. That seems to be a running theme in the anti-Project Stuja cohort. Defeat the ringleader and all other problems will magically resolve themselves. That's what they seem to think. But in case you aren't aware, not one jot in my report would change whether Project Stuja continues or not.
So you have no intention whatsoever of finding a solution to this problem?
On the contrary, I'm the only one here who ever brings solutions.
Child opened by speaking up for the armed forces. Regrader struck back with style and a war of words ensued.
Следующий слайд,
Our reporter was live on the scene to get the audience's reaction as it all unfolded. Who do you support?
Чел упомянул проблемы, которые необходимо решить.
The people have spoken! Child received raucous applause from the crowd as he pushed Regrader onto his back foot with a relentless barrage of questions. It had to be seen to be believed.
Now you see why they don't have a sales permit.
However this reporter wants to spin things, I haven't forgotten that Tartaglia was representing the Northland Bank when we first met in Liyue. So, surely their relationship can't always have been this strained.
You two are getting off topic. Let's focus on what the data is saying.
Mr. Pantalone, may I speak on your behalf?
Oh, please do. I'm more than happy to save my breath.
Crystal distribution policy undergoes modifications with each new period. The ultimate goal being to find the most reasonable method of allocation, which I believe is what Mr. Tartaglia also seeks. But I fear many may have been misled on this topic by extremist activists. To clarify, Project Stuja is not the root cause of the problem. It is merely a framework for resource distribution. The most recent reports all point to Снежnaya's resilience and adaptability during this period of fine-tuning, and give clear indications that a distribution framework is improving with each iteration. To make drastic adjustments without first considering the risks would likely do more harm than good. It would be a waste of the hard-won experience we've gained to date.
Renowned scholar of finance, Arapov spoke up to clarify the fiscal logic, clearly alluding to social organizations like the Rokot in his words. With the notorious Lelek still active to this day, should the Rokot be held responsible? No, there is someone else to blame.
Чего-то друг заговорил о Рокоте, и кто такой этот Лелек?
She's just rephrasing what Mr. Pantalone said. The Rokot are the critics he accuses of taking no responsibility for their actions. As for Lelek, you won't have heard of him yet. He's currently the most famous member of the Rokot. Well, more like infamous.
Кажется, я недостаточно заинтересован в
has
лоре
become an
Genshin
obsession
для
for
этого
him.
разговора.
Unlike the more decent ones among us, he believes that votes in the Vetcha are all that matter. So whether it's threats, coercion, or bribery, he'll use whatever means necessary to get people to change their vote.
Выходит, с Рокотом не все так просто.
And since we're already on the subject, what do you think of Lelek's methods? Are you for or against?
Я даже не знаю, кто это и что он делает. Я могу понять его, возможно, есть какая-то подоплека, это слишком радикально.
Well, whatever the story is, his actions benefit us all. We stand with Lelek.
At least someone here wants to take this discussion seriously. I've been considering that issue myself. What you really need is more precise regional data, right? I think it would be easiest to let the Fatui handle it, since they're already in charge of Crystal shipments anyway. We may as well get them to collect some data while they're at it. Whatever you need, you can ask the Fatui to look into it for you. In terms of supervision, I think the Druzhna would be a good fit. I had hoped to discuss this with Miss Vesna, but sadly, she's not present.
I will be happy to take a note of your suggestions and present them to Commander Vesna for a decision upon her return. The Commander has always taken a keen interest in Project Stuja. However, given the Druzhna's demanding workload, I'm afraid it may prove difficult for them to provide any practical support.
7.1
Let us refrain from jumping to conclusions until a concrete and actionable plan is in place.
My apologies, Lord Wooster.
There are numerous issues to address here, including manpower, time sensitivity, and reporting lines.
Посмотрим.
Nevertheless, I support drafting a proposal. Follow the usual procedure, and it can be raised as a new motion for all parties to evaluate at the appropriate time.
In that case, I'd like to share one thought before the proposal is drafted. The issue of time sensitivity was raised just now, which I presume relates to the official reports. In fact, the Energy Commission already collects regular statistics on each urban center and its surrounding area. Would these be of any use?
That's a good idea. I read every issue of Svietlo Lydovka's report, and although my focus is mostly on the section about equipment operation, the energy consumption statistics also yield a lot of insights.
Be that as it may, does no one see an issue with using local data to determine Crystal quotas? In the long term, it seems like a very risky solution.
Not if they are used purely for reference. So long as we have the report from the Northland Bank's headquarters to corroborate it, no one will be able to fool me.
Very well then. It appears that this arrangement is acceptable to all parties.
Yeah, sounds good to me.
The members reached a provisional consensus on the issue of improving treatment for Fatui soldiers.
Репортер все зачеркивает и начинает с новой строки. Следующий слайд. Мне нажимать.
Today, the prima donna of the Korolievsky troupe attended a session of the Snezhnograd Vecha in the company of a most charming young lady. The question on all our minds is, what is the true nature of their relationship?
Write anything like that again, and I'm revoking your permission to interview the troupe. Got it?
Дальнейшие дискуссии затронут самые разные сферы: энергетику, медицину, технологии, промышленность. Каждый из сторон воспользовался случаем, чтобы выразить свое отношение к проекту Стужа. Миронов по-прежнему строчит полный преувеличенный репортаж. Вы больше не обращайте на нее внимания, но ловите себя на мысли, что, пожалуй, читать ее новости интереснее, чем быть героиней ее историй.
Now then, If there are no further contributions from those present, we shall proceed to the final vote.
Hey, check it out!
Нашелся Чугунов.
What made him vote against? Why now?
The votes have been tallied. Those in favor of continuing Project Stuja total 61%, securing a clear majority.
That was too close. The margin has shrunk yet again. Chuganov was a huge loss.
I'll bet Lelek is behind this. I wonder how Pulcinella will respond this time.
Chuganov. I see. Lelek strikes again.
Yes. Go, Lelek. Once Project Stuja is defeated, our unwavering support at Bring Out the Kvass will finally pay off when we make our comeback. I can taste our victory already!
In accordance with the result of this vote, Project Stuja will remain in effect until the next Vecha period. Finally, may I remind us all, we debate only for the greater glory and solidarity of our nation. May the aurora shine ever on, and the tundra always stand firm. The session is concluded.
Царицу нам пока так и не показали.
Покажут в конце второй главы.
В конце
Вроде.
второй. Угу. Так, есть что-нибудь интересное в этом здании? Розовая книжечка. Сесть не дают. Такой вот темнарь с кучей книг.
I have to say, I really wasn't expecting Chuganov to vote against Project Stuja. Well, in principle, Snezhnaya's business and political elites ought to be the ones least likely to oppose it. As we heard, Project Stuja is basically just a resource distribution framework that requires everyone to cut back during the winter. But even if the policy got cancelled, the Tsaritsa's energy needs wouldn't suddenly go down. The extra demand from the public would have to be filled from somewhere. So logically, the factories would have to take the hit. I got a letter from Mr. Mitya just before today's session. He said he's confirmed that there are issues around overtime and excessive energy consumption at the Iskra manufacturing plant. In a situation like this, once the Rooster receives the report, he'll order the factory to halt production and submit to an investigation before issuing a penalty. But that's a week-long process, and thus didn't make it onto the Vecha agenda this time. I don't think he suspects anything so far.
Ему приходится выбирать между сокращением производства и его полной остановкой.
Exactly. And as you know, he's a very selfish person. I was originally gonna try and flip him after he received notice of the official sanctions. My plan was to convince him that the whole thing was completely unfair. Rather than just sit back and take the hit while his factory stopped production, he'd be better off voting to end Project Stuja. At least that way, no one else would be able to make any money either, because all the factories would suddenly have more limited energy to work with. But now, he's already voted against it, which means someone must have used more forceful means to change his vote. Just like with everyone else who flipped.
Ты имеешь в виду Лелика?
Yeah. No one knows why Lelek is so obsessed with ending Project Stuja, but by the looks of it, he's inching closer and closer to success.
Lelek must have strong motivations, given how he'll stop at nothing to achieve his goal. Maybe he knows the full truth of Project Stuja. Maybe my next step should be to focus on him.
All right. What are your plans for the rest of the day? Shall we head out?
Hey, comrade. I noticed you were here during the debate.
I didn't take you for a political enthusiast.
Greetings, Harbingers. I just happened to have some free time today, and my new friend here thought it might be fun to check out the Vecha.
Ah, Odette must have introduced you. Looks like you two are getting along pretty well.
I'll leave you to catch up. I should head back to the troop.
Sure. Break a leg and all that.
В субтитрах
Thought
просто
it might
написали
be fun to
удачи с
check out the
представлениями.
Vetcha.
Она
Did you?
пожелала ей сломать ногу.
Things are never that
Да,
simple with you,
молодец.
traveler. There's no way you're here for kicks and giggles. Tell me I'm wrong.
Сегодня услышал кое-что интересное о том Лелике.
Oh, yeah. To some, he's a captivating enigma. To others, he's the bane of their existence. No one ever thought that some anonymous nobody from the Rokot could cause such a stir.
Хочу узнать, кто это на самом деле. Вы не против, я проведу расследование?
Huh? You want to look into Lelik? Then I'm sure his days of anonymity are numbered. What do you think, Sandrone?
Fine by me, I guess. If the traveler actually manages to expose Lelik, it'll be doing Pulcinella a favor. In return, it seems fair to let her in on what we've learned so far.
My thoughts exactly. Sharing is caring, after all. Head back to Glupov and grab the files on Lelik. It's easier to just pull the records than go through the rigmarole of getting the traveler a visitor's permit.
As you command, child, sir.
In that case, since we're going to be waiting anyway, I'll have someone brew a pot of black tea.
Чаек.
One common thread among the many incidents Lelik has been involved in is that the victims are all too scared to share any real information about him. Clearly, he must have threatened them in some way. His modus operandi is to silently infiltrate the scene and leave a threatening letter behind. But neither the letters nor the crime scenes ever yield any clues to his identity. So all these files have to offer are short statements by the people affected. They don't give us a lot to go on.
If nothing else, it shows we're dealing with a trained professional who's versed in counter surveillance.
Yes, and to that point, he often strikes in highly secure locations. The victims are high-ranking and influential people who take their personal security very seriously. Somehow, Lelik slips right into their rooms without making a sound. There's never any eyewitnesses, nor the slightest trace of a break-in. If he can get in and out undetected, it means he can strike without warning. Not that that's ever happened so far, but the thought is enough to scare these people sleepless. It's hard to believe that a human being could pull this off flawlessly every time, so they switched the focus of the investigation to Faye. Unfortunately, no one's found anything yet.
Хочешь сказать, что даже ты так бы не смог?
Careful. Don't underestimate me. Although, truth be told, I'd probably find it hard not to blow my cover. Direct confrontation is more my style.
We haven't ruled out the possibility of Lelik being human. It's just, there can only be a handful of people in all of Teyvat who'd fit the profile. Faye, on the other hand, plenty would have the ability, but few would have the motive.
Выходит, он такой же сильный, как Тарталья, но куда более осмотрительный.
No, not as strong as me. You'll never find the culprit with criteria like that. Let's go with a little weaker than me.
Меня ведет Скирк.
Oh, you hit me right where it hurts. I'll admit, he's strong and meticulous. But can we at least limit this to candidates who have something to do with Снежная?
She's just trying to find a reference point. Stop getting fixated on who's stronger than who.
But that's the most important thing. In my opinion, anyway.
Давайте сбавим обороты. Используем в качестве примера Адетту. Мы все знаем ее, а я видел ее в деле.
Odette? Yeah, that seems about right. Her skills are solid, and she's always calm under pressure.
Except she's Fatui, so the likelihood of her working against us is pretty low. But yeah, much more accurate than your previous example at least.
No, wait a moment. Maybe we should interrogate that assumption.
What do you mean? Which assumption?
Her Fatui identity doesn't necessarily exonerate her. And when you think about it, the Rokot would be precisely what she needs to conceal her identity.
Plus, she wouldn't need to be such a pro at covering her tracks. She'd already know where the Fatui will be and when, so she could choose the perfect time to act. Oh, yikes. I was just thinking out loud. Why is this starting to sound like such a convincing theory? Still, what reason could Odette possibly have for trying to call off Project Stuja?
Arlecchino would be the best person to ask. She knows Odette best. Unfortunately, she isn't back yet. Rosaline used to open up to her in private about her struggles with Odette. As I'm sure you can imagine, Arlecchino is quite a lot better with children than Rosaline was. She gave her some tips on how to handle the situation, and Rosaline managed to reach a settlement with Odette before leaving. So I suppose there were at least no lifelong regrets left behind. Beyond that, I don't know the details about that side of things. But I do know that Odette definitely has a motive to hold a grudge against Project Stuja. The reason being, her father passed away during the early stages of the project. That was back before it had been named Project Stuja, when things were still being worked out. But in essence, it's remained the same ever since.
Huh. The more you know. Rosaline was always so self-centered. I never understood why she started paying so much attention to Odette.
Даже ты не знал об этом.
Is that such a surprise? If you cast your mind back, you may remember that Rosaline and I weren't exactly close. We had tea together a few times, but that was about it.
Odette's past is no secret. Her father was a fatus and her mother was a very famous ballerina. On the surface, it looks like she followed right in her parents' footsteps. But the truth is quite a different story. After her father passed away on a mission, her mother was overcome with grief. She broke her leg during a performance and could never dance again. Odette was only interested in ballet at the time, but this tragedy left the family with both breadwinners gone. They could barely make ends meet. Per Capitano's policy, family members of Fatui who died in the line of duty had to be appropriately accommodated and provided with adequate assistance. So, regardless of how Rosaline may have felt about it, it fell to her to resolve the issue of Odette's family's livelihood. In the end, the solution they agreed upon was to have Odette join the Fatui.
Right, because the alternative would have been a one-off compensation payment, I guess. In that sense, joining up was definitely the better option. Still, she must have had mixed feelings about it, right? If she doesn't even like the Fatui.
It's just a theory, a possibility. But as a motive for Odette to become Lelik, it holds up. That said, I have no idea where Odette's head is at right now, or what her conflict with Rosaline was about. Plenty of people were on bad terms with Rosaline.
Как-то быстро
I
они
have no
себя
intention
убедили
of
в
trying
том,
to figure it all
что
out.
это Одетта. Глава Рокота. Сеньор хотел наладить отношения с Одеттой.
Yes, but there's not much point in discussing that now.
Да.
Yeah, back to Lelik. Since our investigations so far have turned up next to nothing, we've got nothing to lose by trying a new angle. Funnily enough, Tonya and I had actually made plans to go to the theater tomorrow to watch Odette's rehearsal. Unfortunately, thanks to this Lelik situation, I'll be stuck working overtime again. Which means you can go in my place. No point wasting the ticket. Plus, you'll get to meet Tonya.
Отлично, свидание с Тоней.
Spirit Seeker. Quite the classic ballet. It was passed down through Odette's mother's family for generations, though it hasn't been performed in years. But Odette's been practicing it diligently, and it's finally ready for a return to the stage. Excitement is through the roof. Tickets for the official performance sold out long ago.
Tonya's excited for it too. She's desperate to see it no matter what. Personally, it's not really my kind of thing, but since she's my little sister, I had to figure something out.
I've actually seen it several times before. The story's pretty straightforward. The lead character follows a trail of clues left behind by a spirit, gradually recovering her memories along the way. It's a tale of love and regret. So not exactly reinventing the wheel, at least by today's standards. But when that classic melody kicks in and the lead character begins to dance, it always gets me. It really is beautiful. Not an easy dance to do justice to, though. I know it's always been Odette's dream to perform this piece, but I'm not sure she's really ready.
In that case, I think that even if she is Lelik, we should wait until her performance is over before we respond. I'll let you take it from here, comrade.
Вернитесь в ресторан. Значит, первая глава скоро закончится.
Да, скорее всего, сейчас ты вернешься. И все.
Ну да.
Сколько я помню.
Давай тогда попробуем посмотреть.
Сколько уже идет стрим?
2 часа 5 минут.
Может, даже успеем еще.
Вот я и думаю, да.
Ирина Николаевна.
Ой, не, я думал, как раз закончим и все. Время уже почти 9, мы уже гулять собирались идти. А то иначе мы больно поздно вернемся. Но да, я хотел бы закончить, если она сейчас закончится, первая глава.
Sounds like you made a ton of progress today. It's good that everything's going so smoothly. Next step is to head back to the theater and get a clear answer from Odette.
Легче сказать, чем сделать, даже если это она, вряд ли она признается. Что-то они очень быстро решили, что это
Either
она.
way, Paimon doesn't get the sense that she's a bad person. Sure, she might have done some pretty
Теперь игра
extreme
говорит об
things,
этом так, будто это уже
Paimon
факт.
bet she has her reasons.
Они ее знают.
Maybe this is going too far, but like,
Почему бы не
with everything she's
спросить?
managed to do so far,
Вот они
wouldn't it make more
решили.
sense in theory to be even more,
На всякий случай.
you know, heavy-handed? Why leave a letter when she could, well, we know there are plenty of other ways to keep people in line, right? The point is, she could have gone further, but she didn't. So, if it is her, she's got some principles at
Какая
least.
высокая кровать. Ей приходится спрыгивать каждый раз на землю, когда она просыпается. Я тоже хочу ей верить.
Yeah! Well, all you can do is follow the facts wherever they lead.
Как Паймон себя чувствует?
No change, really. But that thing Paimon told you about yesterday? Paimon feels like she can sense it more clearly now. Hearing you talk about your day makes Paimon itch for an adventure. If only she could be there with you so we could experience it all together.
Yeah, I wish you could be there too. I'm not used to adventuring alone. But don't worry, we'll get to the bottom of this.
Guess it's just one of those things.
Бедный Паймон
Never
исключили.
mind.
Из
Paimon
этого
will
сюжета.
behave herself and keep resting.
If Odette is Lelek, she may well have inside information on Project Stuja. Her father was involved with the project's early implementation and tragically died in the process. Now, she's dedicated herself to bringing it to an end. It's hard to imagine she could have gotten this far without knowing anything at all about the Tsaritsa's true intentions. When she spoke to us as a member of the Fatui, how much did she let on? And how much was she hiding? Only time will tell. Maybe tomorrow everything will be answered.
Hey, look! It's snowing! Could be a tough day ahead. Make sure you wrap up warm tomorrow.
У Люмин нет теплой одежды.
Да, она всегда так ходит. Закончилось.
Дадут крутку за голову.
Отличный Паймон легла спать. Отдохните до завтра. Окей, вот так, короче, это была первая глава новой сюжетки Снежной. Мне понравились отсылки к русской культуре. Как тяжело дается актерам озвучки произносить якобы русские названия, которые иногда удивляют.
Почти вся вторая глава будет в театре происходить.
Сретоморозск. Есть название города, другое название просто Море-песок. Такое вот лаконичное. Море-песок. Ты говоришь, они придумали его сильно заранее, это название. Может, они как-то еще не проконсультировались, чтобы какое-то окончание подобрать правильное, как у остальных городов. Ну, как-то так вот. В следующие разы посмотрим. Наверное, когда ты уже в следующий раз приедешь, может быть, начнем вторую главу. Потому что нам придется в ближайшие дни еще кое-что поделать. Тут будет еще и пикник, и день рождения. В общем, сообразим там, что нам делать. Надо будет приготовить много всего. Ну, как-то так. Всем спасибо, что смотрели. В следующий раз как-нибудь через, может, наверное, меньше месяца посмотрим, короче, как-нибудь начнем вторую главу слушать. Сюжетки Genshin Снежной. Окей.